All right, everyone. Welcome back to another post-game video on Double Overtime. Aiden Michaels, Jack Weisberg. Game two has just concluded of round one, Kings Oilers. And the Kings again have put up 6 goals against Edmonton. This time, instead of giving everybody a heart attack and then letting up five, they only let up two. The Kings win 6-2. They will head to Edmonton for a Friday night game three, up 2-0 in the series. The first time that they've gone up 2-0 in a series against the Oilers since we started playing them 4 years ago. So, Jack, your immediate post-game thoughts.
I mean, you say the Kings didn't give me a heart attack. They nearly did there when the Oilers started scratching back, made it 3-2, and then uh, it was an Anze Kopitar takeover for me. I think it was a Nurse fanned on a shot, or fanned on a pass in his own zone. Kopitar got the puck, passed between his legs to Kempe. I mean, doesn't get much better than that. Overall thoughts on the game was just that. It seems like we knew, hey, we cannot take our foot off the gas after what happened last game. Like we have a lead. Once it was 3-2, like you could tell that I mean, there was no slowing down. Even when the shots weren't going in. Man, that was a great watch. What were your takes?
Well, so the thing is, and I know we talked about it in the last video, um, was that even with that 4-0 lead we had in game one, you can't sit back and be comfortable. So having a 3-0 lead, I didn't feel comfortable. Obviously, I felt decent. I would felt worse if we didn't have the 3-0 lead, obviously. But of course, I didn't feel that much confidence. And then, of course, we give up one goal, and I'm like, okay, it's a little scary. Arvidsson scores on a tip in front. It's 3-2, and I'm like, here we go again. I texted Nate, my cousin, and I was like, this is gonna happen again, isn't it? And then luckily we got lucky with Arvidsson basically giving Kempe the puck, letting him score that goal to get that insurance goal once again. Um, and then even at 5-2, I was still a little shaky. The only time in the game where I felt like it's good night was when we scored number six, Adrian Kempe once again. And I said I was watching with Krista and Kalechi, and I was like, it's wraps. Like, good night. We did it. We can relax now. And there was still some time left, but I was like, we got it now. We're not gonna give up. So I did feel that we didn't take our foot off the gas. To be honest, those two Oiler goals were lucky. Okay, maybe I shouldn't use the word lucky, but they were tip-ins. They weren't well-worked goals like they were the other night against us when they kept piling on. These were pretty, I will say, lucky goals, um, with some tips in front. So I never felt that we were necessarily choking. I was just like, okay, well, we've given them the opportunity to take the lead and or to tie the game up and take the lead. But we never really took our foot off the gas. Like you said, like once we let up that goal, we were able to get back and keep going. And 6-5 in game one, but 6-2 in game two is a fantastic change. Obviously, we have many more positives to talk about than negatives, but I'm going to ask you, Jack, what you think were some of the negatives from this game, just so we can get those out of the way.
Negatives, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind, it's the negative in that like the Oilers' game plan is beat Byfield up at all costs. It doesn't matter if you're going to the box, and that scares me. It really does because I mean we've seen through. I think he's really come to it in his own these last 3 months, and that like, okay, you're our guy. Like, I mean, pass the torch.
Yeah.
Like, it's you now, clearly. And just seeing how it's not every game. It's almost every shift where they get a cheap shot in on him, and I'd say like a fourth of the time we get the call, which is great. But just seeing that be their game plan, you asked me negatives. I do see that as a negative, and just being like, don't really want to get Byfield beat up all the time, but hey, it's leading to goals. I'm not complaining.
Right. I mean, that is the thing. And I agree with you on that. It is a little scary when, the Oilers know that they're not going to win the game. Or, yeah, I mean, at the point where they weren't going to empty their net, they knew that the game was essentially over. So they did get their guys to come start slashing us and start trying to hurt us. And Byfield was shaken up a little bit from a couple slashes he took, and obviously he's a tough guy, I'd be fine. But yeah, that is a scary thing because we saw what happened in that game where we won 5-0 against them, where they rested McDavid and Draisaitl. Obviously, Nurse had the cross check on Byfield, and I think Janmark had a couple slashes or whatever, and Perry obviously too. Like when games get out of hand, you do worry that your star players are gonna take a beating, and that's why we saw a lot of Jeff Malott in the final 5 minutes. I think he played every other shift in the final five. He was even out there with Byfield at one point, uh, just to provide some protection for QB. Because, like you said, passing the torch, it's a great way to put it because he is our guy. He is our next star. He's the guy that we drafted him. People are saying the next Kopitar, but he's almost like showing shades of. Kopitar and Kempe mixed together in a sense. He's got that strength of Kopitar and that playmaking ability of Kopitar, but then he can dangle and he can snipe like Kempe can. So obviously Byfield, if he gets cooking, he gets cooking. Kuzmenko, I will continue to say is I want to say the best trade deadline acquisition. I mean, we got him for absolutely nothing. We're paying 75% of his salary. And here he is on the first line with Kopitar and Kempe, and he's got 5 points in 2 games. Uh, Second most on the team besides Kempe, who's obviously got 7 points. But man, that first line, Kopitar, Kempe, and Kuzi is unbelievable. And let me tell you this, Jack, because remember last year when the Kings lost, I think the Oilers had a 50% power play against us. The Kings went 3 for 5 on the power play tonight. Scored a couple power play goals the other night. The Kings are actually doing well in the power play, and not only that, but they are doing unbelievably well to contain the Oilers' power play. What is the key for the Kings to continue to do that when they go to Edmonton? Obviously, things are a little bit different because you're playing away from home, you're playing at a tough barn. What's the key there?
I think we've done a really good job staying with the initial guy, the guy that has the puck. I saw this a lot tonight. I mean, obviously the Oilers are a quick moving team, move from A to B and just like in an instant. And I thought our wings just did a great job staying with them in our own zone, to where like they didn't really have a great look at the goal. They would have had to swing it cross ice to really get a good look. And I think that that's where we're our best. And man, just like to be good, we need to really help out our goalie here because he's having just an unbelievable uh season, and he's put together two really good games in the playoffs despite maybe that third period of the last game, which I wouldn't really blame all on him. They got some just outstanding looks. But we got to do him a solid and play some defense, which I thought we did great tonight. Just interrupting passing lanes. It was great to see that we were so engaged on that end of the ice.
I agree. I mean, fantastic game from Gavrikov, who's arguably been our best defender all season long. Mikey Anderson, who has shown us in the years past, even when the Kings get dominated, is always somebody that can at least stay with McDavid and contain him. And he was able to do that consistently tonight because he did it very well in the first and second period the other night, was not able to do so in the third. Did very well tonight. McDavid wasn't moving around a lot tonight like he was the other night. So fantastic from the defense. And like you said, we owe it to Darcy Kemper for the season that he's had, for what he's done for us. Um, as I would say, I mean, definitely, I would say the second best goalie in the league, right behind Hellebuck, who's obviously, President's Trophy guy, reigning Vezina guy. So it's the least we could do. Clark getting a goal in the power play, obviously opening up the scoring. We saw with the power play a couple times in game one, they decided to go for the five forwards, and then they decided to go for four forwards and Spence, and they're not really putting Dowdy on there. They put Clark on the power play, and he gets a goal. How big is that for his confidence level? A young defender getting that goal heading into game three.
It's huge. I mean, I think even the confidence to say, because really can't think about the last time we've done this. I mean, uh, being able to put confidence in a defender that's not Dowdy. Uh, I mean, we couldn't do that with a lot of guys that I trusted in the past 10 years. We really couldn't, especially on the power play. So being able to put him out there and to see him convert in a huge game, like. Wow. That was
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. It was massive. So before we end, any final thoughts about tonight's game and then any words heading into game three?
I just think that this team will go as far as Darcy Kemper takes them.
Yeah.
Like, and I really like our coach. I think he stays really even keeled. I mean, they scored that second goal to bring it to 3-2, and you just saw him. They turned a clip of him on the bench, and he is straight faced. He knows the mission. He knows they're gonna score a second time. The mission is go fucking punch him in the mouth again. And what did we do? That's exactly what we did. Um, so I think my message going into game three, heading to Edmonton, would just be never give up. I mean, we see what happens when we don't. And just, man, Quentin Byfield. Wow.
What a guy. What a player. And I gotta say, just you talking about Coach Hiller, if you remember way back then, I think we did the Kings season preview. And I'll be honest, I was not in favor of keeping Jim Hiller on the board. When they made the announcement, when Blake made the announcement that we were going to stick with Hiller as the head coach and not pursue a head coach on the market, I was not happy. I was not happy with that at all. And I am absolutely wrong about what I thought was going to happen. And I'm pleasantly surprised with the job that Jim Hiller has done. Fantastic. But anyway, that will conclude our post-game video. We're both on a high after that win. Just the recap, like I did last game. Clark on the power play to open it up. QB getting the second again, just like he did in game one. Kuzmenko on the power play again, like he did in game one. Couple goals from the Oilers. Draisaitl, Arvidsson. Who cares about Arvidsson? Then Arvidsson gave Kempe the puck to make it 4-2. Kopi on the power play 5-2. Kempe put it to bed 6-2. He now has 7 points. He had 4 points tonight. Now has 7 points in 2 games, which is absolutely unbelievable. Kopitar, my player of the game, had it 4 points as well. Incredible offensively and defensively. And just like that, the Kings win game two, 6-2. They head to Edmonton for game three on Friday, a chance to take a 3-0 series lead. Thanks for tuning in. As for Jack Weisberg, I'm Aidan Michaels, and we will hopefully be in good moods at the end of game three on Friday. So we'll see you then. Good night.